Okay, I almost forgot about the distributor. They never seem to run very good without spark plugs for some reason. But anyway, this is the distributor we're going to use. I've actually run high nines with this very same distributor. Basically, we're just going to use this for a crank trigger. We're going to hide a box inside the car under the dash. I've had one in there for years. Okay, a couple years. Originally, an LS6 engine would have came with what they called a transistor style distributor, but those things are like $2,000. We're not going to use one of those. We're going to use this distributor would have been like what came in a LS5 big block Chevy. So and it is date coded correct. It's the correct distributor. What's really cool about the old Corvettes is they had a cable tack drive, and I still use that. I mean, I use all the old 50-year-old gauges in that car. I don't have anything modern in there at all. But we're going to put a new brass gear on this. You just pound out this roll pin, and we're going to put a new igniter. You know, all that. This is a point style distributor. I mean, this is what's supposed to be in like a LS5 1971 Corvette. But we've got it all locked out. Weights are welded. The can is welded. Everything is locked out. And that's because we're just going to use this as a crank trigger to fire the box. I won't even go into all the different boxes that you can run. I actually, I've run high nines, not with points. That's one thing. I'm pretty sure I could though. But I've run high nines with this distributor with no box and a 3-wire module in it. So, you know, you don't need an ignition box to go fast, put it that way. But you do need an ignition box to be consistent and competitive. So I won't even go into that because there's so many different kinds of boxes, so many things you can do with your ignition box. I mean, there's so many things you can do that NHRA has made a few of them illegal. And in my opinion, I think they should make a few more things with ignition illegal. But you put wheel speed sensors that go on the pinion, you know, and on your drive shaft. You can it gets to the point where the computer's driving the car and not you after a while. But I do have a box hidden in there because if you're going to lock out the distributor like this, you need a start retard, or you'll take all the teeth off your ring gear. I've done that before. We could make like a 3-hour-long video about all the stupid stuff I've done over the years. But we're going to put a new gear on it here and a new points eliminator in it. I mean, this is a bone stock distributor with the advanced mechanisms welded up and a points eliminator. That's it. That's what we're going to run. And then I'll show you how to stick it in the hole and have it on the right cylinder and jump. Okay, I guess I should mention the reason for the bronze gear, in case no one knows this. When you're running a billet cam, they're hard steel, and a billet roller cam, they always want you to run a bronze gear. And the reason for that is if one of those gears wears out, you want the removable one, the easy one, to get out of there, because it does take quite a hammering on a high lift cam, you know. I replace these about every 2 seasons or so, and they are pretty chewed up by the time I get done with them. And that's the whole reason, is if you want the teeth to wear or chip, or you want it to happen on this gear, not the one on the end of the camshaft, you know. That's a little harder to get out of there. So that's the whole reason for the bronze gear. Okay, I'll give you a little idea what this points eliminator looks like. You just take out the old points plate and then you screw this in there in place of it. It's just a magnetic pickup, and what it does is it senses, comes with this little wheel here that has these weights on the bottom of it. Here's my old one here. This one, the lamination's kind of coming off. And that's one reason why I wanted to replace this, because I think it's like 30 years old. And I had a high-speed, kind of a misfire at high RPMs, and then I noticed when I was pulling it apart, here's the problem right here. This screw had come loose, so I think I'm going to put a little Loctite on everything this time, because that's the ground wire that grounds this plate and the whole unit, you know. So I found my misfire. I was really happy because I was wondering what happened to this distributor, why it was doing that. But you see, I have the weights welded here, and this doesn't move either. The vacuum advance is locked solid. I was going to say too, when you buy these gears, try to buy a name brand. You know, all the cam manufacturers sell them. Don't buy the Summit brand or the Chinese ones, because they'll just wear out right away and they're not worth a crap. You know, these things range anywhere from like $20 to $120, you know, but you can usually find a middle of the road. You know, we got a Howard's cam going in this thing, so I bought a Howard's gear. I think it was like $45 or something, but like I say, they usually last at least, you know, a couple seasons for sure. You know, usually you're pulling it out of there and freshening things, and you can examine it there and give it a once over, and then you know whether it's good or not. Okay, here's how this works. Just got that igniter sensor there, and you got your little disc of magnets that spins around. You make sure that's set at about, they wanted at 10 thousandths or so, between 10 and 60 or something like that. And then you just throw on your rotor back on there, and you tap, and good to go. Okay, time to drop her in the old hole. I have never found an aftermarket distributor hold down that works as good as the factory ones. So I kind of collect these old original GM clamps, hold down distributor clamps, because those aftermarket ones just work like crap. And you might have to reach down in the hole and get your oil pump shaft in the general vicinity of where you want to be. Kind of turns clockwise as you put her down in there. And then you know, say you're going to have 36 degrees advanced timing, you turn your mark 36 degrees advanced, and then you just, you take and drop her in the hole, and then you want your rotor. The old school way to do it is get your rotor pointing at the number 1 plug, and then, we got to have this right here. The cable comes in for the tack in about that direction, so we got to have this canister pointing that way, I guess. But you want your rotor pointing at number 1, and then we'll put on the plugs in order. And this is the intake manifold I'm going to use. It is original to 71 LS6. It's a 3967474. Some guys want to argue with me about that, whether it is an LS6 intake or not, but that's the intake we're going to use. And we'll get our nice stealthy distributor in the hole here, and make up some plug wires for it, and I'll show you which plugs I use, and we'll be ready again. Okay, you can see how nice that turned out. We got our nice little stealthy crank trigger on here, and we got the rotor pointing exactly at this one here will be number 1, because you want that dead on there, and then your 36 degrees or 39 degrees before top dead center there on the compression stroke. Make sure you're on that. And then we'll put number 1 right on here, and it should fire right up and be in really close to in the correct timing even. Oh yeah, one more thing. Don't forget your little gasket underneath there. And then I'll have to put on, I have a factory coil bracket. I'll throw it on. What I usually do is I take a good high energy coil, Pertronics or something, you know, MSD, and then just paint it black. And we'll mount that on there and make up some wires and throw in some plugs and be ready to fire this mother up.